Morning, everyone. Today is Monday, February 8th, 2021. The time is 11:05 a.m. This is our weekly Commissioner Status Report. Attending are Commissioners Brooks and Fillios. Commissioner Brooks by phone. Commissioner Leslie Duncan is excused. She's on vacation this week. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. First business item, and it's a potential action, is jail camera system. Bill, you're indicated. Did you want Grant to speak to this?
Yes, I would, if that's okay.
Go right ahead, Grant.
Thank you, Commissioners. What's going on here? This project's been on the books for a couple fiscal years now. Obviously, like everything, got set back by COVID a little bit. What we have is a very critical piece of infrastructure at the jail is these camera systems. These are the things that you've been in the control towers and you see when someone buzzes any door, it pops the camera up so we can see what's going on. Very commonplace for any correctional facility across the country now to have these things. The current system is about 7, 8 years old. It's end of life. We can't support the products anymore. The parts that break can't be replaced. We have and the company has a few parts inventoried, but that's not going to get us by forever. So it's time. So I won't try to revalidate the project since it's already in budget. What I was going to do today is give you a budget breakdown and just make you aware of how the dollars are going to be coming forward and how to proceed with that. So right now in the sheriff's budget we have $100,000, and then allocated in fund balance but not yet moved into the budget we have $450,000. This project went into place when it was put in. Whatever it was, 7 or 8 years ago, it was about a $600,000 expenditure at that time. We're definitely going to do everything we can to keep it lower than that, but that's why that large number, 450, was allocated in fund balance. The phase we're moving into right now is design. We've looked around at trying to see if we can get by without having to have this thing architected. Worked with different vendors ourselves, even with the manufacturer who makes this stuff. And what we've arrived at is it's just simply too complex of a system for anyone who's involved at this point to come up with a design on our own, to wing it, so to speak. So we do want to engage with a design firm. I'm expecting the design and engineering of this thing to come in probably somewhere between $10,000 and $30,000. So the $100,000 that we have in budget right now is more than adequate to proceed with phase one. But before we did proceed, I just wanted to advise the board that we are at this stage, and to progress with the project, it's going to go far beyond that $100,000 that's in the budget right now, and the budget would have to be opened so that we could get to that other $450 that was allocated in fund balance.
Okay. So what is it you need from us today, the initial?
I don't know that I need an action. My main goal was to advise you of the current situation where we're at in the project. If you wanted to work on it sooner, we will need those dollars, so I see no reason to delay in opening. It was brought to my attention that you guys have a meeting that takes place usually in March to discuss fund balance, and I don't think I would be to the point of dipping into this $450,000 until that time. So if you wanted to wait to that so that you could discuss it along with other fund balances, and which might present an opening of the budget to do other moving of funds anyway, I think we'd be fine with that. I don't think I'm asking you for expedience to get this opened up and get these dollars.
What if we were to authorize the design and engineering today?
That's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's part of the project. It's already budgeted for. So, but if that's something we need to do, then.
Dena, you want to come up, give us a hand with this?
So it sounds like what I'm hearing is if we start down this road, what Grant is saying is that the $100,000 that's in the budget right now is not going to be sufficient to finish the project.
Right.
So if the board wants to finish the project and is good with him moving forward, then maybe not today, but perhaps when we do our assigned fund balance policy, which is coming up in the next month or so, that $450,000 that's sitting and earmarked in assigned fund balance, that you release those funds into the budget so that the project can be completed.
Okay. So would we be acting prematurely if we allocated the design and engineering today, or is it that we really need a final approval before we even take this first step?
I personally would not like to see the county spend funds on design and engineering without a full plan
Okay,
on
fair enough,
proceeding with the
fair
project.
enough. So we'll wait till March then? Sure. Okay, so this is an FYI. Okay, good point. All right, fair enough. So we've got 100 grand, but we're really looking at a price tag of 450.
Yeah, and I should note that that 450 also encompasses what we're when we originally talked about allocating those that fund balance, we not only discussed finishing up the sheriff's department, the JJC, which is the downtown courthouse, is in dire need of camera replacement. It's not nearly what I would call as critical of infrastructure as at the sheriff's department, but the plan was to completely finish the sheriff's department, and if we do have funds left over, to continue on and do something about the juvenile justice center downtown.
Fair enough. Okay. So Dateline March. Got it. Okay. Thank you, Grant.
Thank you.
Bill, any questions for Grant?
No, that answers all my questions, and I'm happy to wait till March.
Okay, cool. Okay, second item, tree stump removal from garden parking lot, action item. I'll take this one. Okay, so what happened is when we took down the 5 trees that were threatening the Romer Hamilton house, the stumps were left there, and they're not only are they an eyesore, but they're also a potential danger as people, cross the parking lot perhaps to enter the Hamilton house. And so we do have to remove them because it's an incomplete job as stands, but we did what we had to do to basically eliminate or reduce the threat. And so we got a quote from a gentleman named John DeBall, who had given this quote to Jolene Dance at the Music Conservatory, and our Greg Manley, who's our Director of Buildings and Grounds, have spoken to John, and we have a quote here from John. And to remove one large tree stump, including the root system and the debris, and includes any damage to existing sprinklers, will be repaired, and the ground and heavy equipment may have disturbed the existing landscape. So he'll take care of that. That's $475. And then there's the actual removal of 5 tree stumps, okay, on the county property line with the conservatory, which includes repairing of the landscape to match existing landscape and the removal of the stumps and any other debris, and that comes out to $1,675. So the total is $2,150 for the removal of 6 stumps. And Greg also mentioned to me that there's some issue with the concrete that really should be repaired because that's another potential hazard. And so Mr. DeBall has said that if we want him to repair the patio, he needs to remove and add concrete to the estimate. That's about $400 additional dollars. And the work will be performed on a weekend, so it would not disturb any of the normal activity. And he's going to be using a Caterpillar mini excavator. So what would happen is if he does the concrete work as well to the $2,150 for the stump removal, we would add $400. So that would take us to $2,550. And we'll be submitting as well to ICRIMP, yeah, thank you, Dena, for some reimbursement. So, Bill, are you okay with this?
Yeah, I have no problem making a motion that we go ahead and allocate $2,550 to take care of all these problems as outlined under item 2.
So that is a formal motion. And I will second.
Yes. Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried for the removal of the 5 tree stumps and the concrete work. Thank you. Okay, then. So our third item is pending item status review. I'll go through the list. Okay, Citizen Advisory Committee. Bill, you still have that on hold, right?
On hold, that's correct.
Okay. County Form of Government Study Commission, the alternative form of government.
I intend to come out with some preliminary bylaws this week.
I got it. So I'll say by Friday, which is the 12th. Got it. Facilities expansion, nothing really further to report on that. Leslie's been pretty much taking the lead on this. The only thing, I guess, is we have spoken with the clerk's office in terms of drafting language for a potential bond vote, revenue bond vote. So we need to verify the lead times. This vote would likely occur in March. No, I take it back. Would likely occur in May. That's May of this year. So we would have to have the language drafted, and I think the lead time that our clerk needs is going to be somewhere around 40 days, but I'm going to have to confirm that. We're still waiting to hear. And anyway, so that's the latest on that, and the target is probably somewhere around 20 million. The language will likely look similar to the language that was assembled by Twin Falls County that, thanks to Dena, gave us a good glimpse of what it looks like. And so that's what's going on there. The airport lease, I guess Leslie's been working on that, so we'll defer that. 1A, 1B audio upgrade, Nancy Jones.
Good morning, Commissioner. Nancy Jones, Communications Manager for the record. I need some guidance from the board this morning. We've had a slight update to this. I spoke with Josh from EVCO. Josh has actually changed to a new company. So the question that's before the board is if you wish to continue the project with EVCO Sound or follow Josh, who has been our representative to his new company. Along with him, two of the other individuals from EVCO who have worked on our system in the past have also moved to this new company. They specialize in smaller projects where EVCO does more large projects, municipalities, school districts, colleges. So they would be more focused. They actually just installed the exact program, system that's being proposed here in Oregon for a municipality, so they are familiar with it. The staff is familiar with our setup, but it is up to the board if you'd like me to continue with EVCO or move to the new company and have them draft a potential contract.
Okay, so let me get this straight. If we stay with AVCO, do we lose Josh?
Yes.
Bill, any thoughts?
I would like to know more about that before we vote on it.
What are your
direction.
thoughts, Nancy?
At this point, there are more people who will be employed by this new company, and it's not a brand new company. They've been around a while, but it sounds like a lot of the staff has moved over to work on these smaller projects. Knowing that that group is more familiar with our existing setup, I have no personal preference on which company we go with as we move forward, other than to say it might take a little longer if we stay with EVCO because they would need to come in and get familiarized again with our existing system.
So if we go with Josh and the new firm, are they going to honor the quote?
That is what I told him, is that if we move forward, our budget is our budget, and it would have to be equal to or less than the existing quote.
Okay, so we're waiting on that.
Well, at this point, I need the board's guidance. I can certainly go forward and at least get that information from them if you'd like to compare that.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
What do you think, Bill? Let's get the quote from the new firm and
That
see if
sounds
the...
good.
Go ahead.
That sounds good.
Is there any other information that you would like on the company or on the proposed project?
Yeah, anything you can provide, how stable are they, how long have they been in business? Any profile information you can give us would help. Other than that, if Josh is going to be the one that's going to lead on this at the new firm, which I assume he would be.
He would be the one to take the lead, and I asked him, and the lead time is actually slightly shorter. They have some more of the equipment in-house at the new company, so he said it would be about 60 days for the initial implementation.
Okay, sounds good. So then I would say go forward, get the information, see if they'll honor the quote, honor less. And if everything looks as good as it did before, and if the resources are greater in the new firm, then that, I think, potentially the way to go. But let's see what you come up with, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I'll send it out to the board as a whole.
Okay, yes, please.
Thank you, Commissioners, and I'll send that to Grant Kinsey as well.
Yes. Bill, you okay?
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Okay, thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, the financial snapshot, is this the day?
Nope, you get to wait a month.
Oh, that's right, because you,
We're only getting you once a month.
when did we do the last one? Oh, we did. Oh, what's today? Today's what? Today's the 8th. Oh, so we did it on the 1st. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So that's our agenda for today. We've run through everything. Great. Public comment. Hearing none. 11:22. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.